Hi, I'm Shane Balkham, Client Investment Director at US Asset Management, and welcome to my 2-minute missive. August wasn't the typical down month, or it hasn't been for 2025. We have one day to go, but markets in general are up, and our multi-asset blend funds are also up. Interestingly as well, the S&P 500 in sterling terms has finally got to positive territory. Now, the drive in the US markets has mainly been behind sentiment and the potential future earnings of the biggest US tech companies. Now, what we need to see happen, what the US market needs to see happen, is for that sentiment to be backfilled by actual earnings. And fundamentals are getting weaker and softer in the US, with employment data, inflation, and growth looking a little bit softer. We also had the largest of those big tech companies have their earning announcements. Nvidia, remember, that was the first $4 trillion market cap company we've had. And earnings were less than expected. Not a huge amount, but still less than expected. Now that's going to have and has had a dampening effect on its share price. But it was interestingly, the narrative downplayed a lot of the China exposure. And we're seeing a lot of wariness from receiving the wrath of the president. Now, political interference is significant in the US. And I think markets are probably downplaying the likelihood of President Trump getting his wish and firing Fed Governor Lisa Cook. Now, you can read more about that in the press. But what it might mean is if Lisa Cook does go, Trump could be in a position where he's appointed 4 of the 7 governors of the Federal Reserve. That's the majority. And then that majority in turn could then not reappoint many of the independent federal bank governors that come up for renewal in 2026. So you could have a situation where Donald Trump has a significant influence in the decision making of the Federal Reserve. Now, that isn't going to bode well for markets. So it's important that we have a diversified portfolio. And unfortunately, it's the squeaky wheel that gets all the media attention, and that's the US at the moment. And an antidote to this is to have a globally diversified portfolio with varying asset classes and geographical investments. So stay diversified, stay invested. These are my views, and before you make any financial decisions, please speak to your financial planner. Thank you.